Mounce, BBG, chapter 28, sentence 6. All right, first of all, post-positive day, of course, but then you have this first um, participle. You know it's from a kuo, but then you've got the sigma alpha thing going on, so you know you're probably dealing with an aorist. And then you've got, with this ending, you say, well, it's a masculine nominative singular ending. So, you know, who's it referred to? Again, your culprit is right nearby, because you've got Herod. So, knowing that, you just, again, have to figure out the relationship between, since you're not talking about Herod, and you have this sort of immediate relationship between the verb and the participle that you have to establish. So, you know, if all you did was translate it as hearing from a kuo, and hearing, comma, Herod was saying, well, you know, what's the relationship of time? Well, he heard before he was saying. So you could do like after hearing, comma, or you know, something like and after he heard, comma, Herod was saying. So either one of those will work. Of course, like I said several times before, I like to keep the participle idea if I can, the sort of ing thing. So, you know, you could easily say, in my opinion, and after hearing, comma, Herod was saying, and then you go on to the rest of the sentence. You've immediately got this relative pronoun. And of course, they give you the verb here. So, whom I beheaded, comma, John, right, is sort of what you have to do. You probably in translation could treat that relative pronoun as though it were the subject. You know, you could sort of do some gymnastics with a sentence and say something like, the one who I beheaded. You know, and that's acceptable. You know, translators will do those kinds of things. But obviously, if you can keep it a relative pronoun, that's nice. It's just awkward to do that in English here. So, you know, you really have to just add commas, essentially. You notice that he spells it out. It's whom I beheaded. If he went there, you would have to assume it was John. You know, but what he does is it's like whom I beheaded, namely John. So John is sort of this exegetical thought at the end of this relative clause here. You know, where he's expanding on the whom that he starts the sentence out with. So just so you understand, I mean, they're both accusatives. You know, they're both accusatives. They're both referring to the same person. So again, John is just him spelling out who he's talking about with the relative pronoun, which he didn't really have to do. So, whom I beheaded, comma, John, comma, and then hutas, this one, or this man, right? This person, you know, with the nominative singular. So, again, referring back to John, but this man, this person, this one. And then you have agarthe. So you go, well, okay, see an augment. You know, if I take the augment off, I probably might have an epsilon or an alpha. And then I'd look at this and kind of go, you know, auger. I don't have a verb like that I know offhand. So eger, I know agero. So if it's agero, well, then you not only have the augment, but you have a different stem because there's no iota. So then you can assume that it's an aorist. You can assume that it is, you've got the augment, you've got an aorist, and you not only have an aorist, but you have an aorist passive. And with no ending other than the theta eta, that tells you that it's third singular, which lines up really well with the hutas. So this one, he was raised, is kind of the idea, but this one was raised. All right, as an aorist passive. So, and after hearing, comma, Herod was saying, comma, whom I beheaded, comma, John, comma, this one was raised. Something like that is just fine.